Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In Yoga Vasishta, there is a story, and the story goes like this. In a king's palace, he had 2, 3 children, and there is to be the ayah looking after the children. The mothers only produce the child, but don't look after the children. So the ayah or the maid servant, she has to take care. Now children, every night before going to sleep, they will ask the same question. Please tell us a story. Now how many stories to tell? Every day the same thing, tell a story. So that ayah was very intelligent. She said, look here, once upon a time, so you can make stories. Once upon a time, there were 3 pot makers. You know, out of the 3, 2 were not born and 1 was dead. Then they made 3 pots out of clay, and 2 were never cooked and 1 was raw. Then they went all the way to market Devi market to sell them. So on their way, they got 3 rivers, huge rivers. 2 rivers have no water and 1 river was dry. Okay. And slowly, after a few minutes, the children go to sleep. So story ends. Again the same next day. And please tell us the story. Yesterday you were telling, yes. I'll start again, okay? And again the story starts. This is exactly the story of our life. Many people write autobiography with an illusion that they were born. Now, who experiences his or her birth? Somebody tells. This I came to know. Once I was in a maternity ward because of my friend's problem. His wife was due to deliver and he had some exchange of hot words with the nurse, and she told him that if you come in, I'll call police, you get out. So he called me. Swamiji, please see what happened to my wife. She's not ready to talk to me and she's very angry. So we are fit everywhere. When somebody dies, we go. When somebody doesn't die, we go. Swamiji, kuch karo. In Bombay, this happened. People call us for food in a Gujarati house. And after giving the food, so when I wanted to leave, Swamiji, will you please bless our grandmother? She is not well. Now, how can you give up the namak harami? So you have to eat. Okay, I'll go there. And that old lady was in coma. One nurse was attending. So, what I could do is, when I saw that nurse, I was talking to her, somebody to talk to. And then those people came to see how I am blessed. They wanted confirmation. So I am also professional. So I took that dilapidated hand of that old lady in my one hand, put my other hand, and then kissed my own hand. And a dead hand, who will touch? And then started just moving my lips. Now who can challenge what I am doing? And after that was over, then I left. On the third day, that man came for my lecture. Swamiji, do you remember you came the other day to our house? Do you remember me? I said, I have forgotten God. What will I remember human beings? No, our grandmother was not well. You came and blessed her. I said, my God, now what happened because of my blessing? If she survived, he has come to kill me. And if she dies, my blessings kill the people. I was in a catch of 22. What to do, what to do? He said, Swamiji, by your grace and by your blessing, God has heard her prayer and she is relieved from the terrible pain and misery she was going. I said, look here, don't cheat yourself. What? The one who is in coma never suffers. The one who pays the bill, he suffers. Chata bhi nahi. So, the one who dies, he doesn't have the experience of death. And the one who is born, he also doesn't have experience of birth. So in that maternity ward when I went, so I said, that my friend's wife, so and so, so the number saw, and this is the one. I said, has the delivery happened? Yes. I said, where is the baby? Baby. I said, very good. Now what is the time baby was born? She told me 12:38, midnight. I said, thank you so much. Now I said, Mama, this work is over. Now for my general knowledge I am asking. It has nothing to do with this particular issue. It is over. Then I asked, I said, please tell me, none of the person born on this planet is born at a round figure. Even if you are a Sardar, you are never born at 12 o'clock. 12:39, 5:58. Exactly how do you know? So meticulously. There are so many of them delivering at a time. So are you going, watch? Kaun aaya? How do you know that? He said, Swamiji, I'll tell you the truth. If we tell these people round figure, the child is born at 8 o'clock, nobody believes us. So we have to make a story. 7:58. So neither the child knows when the baby is born, nor the mother knows. And on the basis of that, we write autobiography of a Dumbo. I was born in Jumbritalaya on 30th of February, and story goes. This story is like there were 3 pot makers. 2 were not born, 1 was dead. They made 3 pots. 2 were raw, 1 was not cooked. They went for selling them. There were 3 rivers on the way. 2 were dry, 1 was not any better. And the child goes to say, story over. He who knows this story, he is on the top of the world. One place, somebody asked me, Swamiji, whenever we call you, Swamiji, how are you? You fire out. I am on the top of the world. But what exactly is the meaning of on the top of the world? I say, it's very simple. The world is under my foot. See? Is the world ruling us or we are ruling the world? See, one more story I'll tell you about this. How to go on the top of the world. Once in some place in India, I was sitting on the top on the tree. Don't ask me whether I had a tail that time or not. That's a secret. So I was sitting up there and eating moongfali, peanuts. That's my favorite fruit because I don't take milk. The reason being I am not a baby. I don't like fruits. The reason being I am not a monkey. Then what do you like? People become angry. I said I like nuts. Therefore I like you. So I was having nuts and enjoying. And below that tree, one villager came. It was evening, and he was frustrated. No transport, no bullock cart is coming. Now how will I reach home? I am so tired, and it is dark also. Something may happen. Oh God, please send the bullock cart. And from above I gave Akashvani, the declaration from the heavens. My dear friend, within an hour, one bullock cart will come for you. And I gave the description. And exactly that type of bullock cart came. He sat and went home. After going home, do you think he'll keep quiet? You know, I was below the tree, I had problem, and the divine voice I heard from the tree, holy tree. So, next day, all the villagers came to see the God sitting on the tree. And they got me down, and then I became a great Mahatma, God's avatar. Now come back to the story. I was on the top of the tree, and that man was at the base of the tree. The radius in which that man could perceive was limited, let us take 1 kilometer. But when I was on the top of the tree, my radius has increased. So what was a future tense for the man at the bottom of the tree, it was a present tense for me who is on the top of the tree, is it not? Get this point, my friends. So when you are on the top of the world, you have conquered the time. See? But we are at the base of the tree. And what is that tree? That tree is this body. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna begins, Urdhvamulamadasyakam ashvattam pravuravayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda savedavid adashodvam prasrata tasya shaka gudapravruddha vishaya pravala adasya mulanyanusantatani karamanubandhini manushaloke na rupamasya tathopalabhyate nanto na chagir sampratishtha ashvatthamenam svirudamulam asanga shastrena drudena chitva. 3 verses. Now whenever we are hearing Urdhva Mula Madashakam, normally what people understand is the root of this world tree is above. So you start looking above. And from there the tree has come. So Urdhva Mulam, the tree is doing Shirshasana. Roots are above, branches are below. That is not the tree. The tree is ourselves. Urdhva Mulam, upar se khate hai. Adashakam, they grow downwards. See? And how long the growth continues? First, the tree grows vertically, then it comes to a limit. Therefore, it can't grow further. Then it starts growing horizontally and becomes flat. And this body, which we have not created, you may say, I am a self-made man. What you have made self? See? What that arrogance? So, Urdhva Moolam, we eat from above, grow below, Adashakam, Ashwatham means what? That which is constantly changing. Shwa means tomorrow, means not. What it is today, tomorrow it will be different. I went to somebody's house when the child was hardly 6 months. And again, after about 15 years, I went to their house. So the boy came, did namaskar, and his mother told me, Swamiji, do you remember you came, you only named him, and he was so small in your lap, and he did something what you didn't like. Do you remember? I said, that I don't remember. If that is true, I have seen him vertically, horizontally. How come he became vertical? Ashwatham. As it is today, tomorrow it will be changed. And you can't stop it. You can't stop it. It has to. But our problem is, we live as the body and we expect our body should not change and then suffer. That is how the most prosperous business, retail business, is the spa and the beauty parlors. What is the beauty parlor? There they give you makeup to cover the breakup. What did we do? Yesterday I received one WhatsApp, husband-wife. They came out of a mall and there was one boy and he was his weighing machine. So the wife said, let me weigh myself. Husband was keeping quiet. Why is husband never talk? So he was keeping quiet. And then she stood on that, 120 kilo. So that boy who was owning that machine, he laughed. And she said, now I can't be 120 kilo. So she gave the bag to the husband. Again 120 kilo. What happened? Then she had a water bottle in her hand, 1 liter, that he gave away. Again 120 kilo. What is happening? Finally, she thought, let me wash my face. And she washes her face. It became 100 kilos. Then again she washed 3-4 times and she became 60 kilos. But by then, when she washed so many times, she became dark black, like a black lady. So 60 kilo of makeup was on. We are all living as the body, for the body, on everybody. This is living at the base of the tree. We can't see beyond. Our radius of perception is so small, we can't go beyond. See, it is the same tree where saints and sages stay, but they are on the top of the tree. Therefore, their area of perception is having a wider radius, and therefore what they can see, we cannot see. See, my friends, we have to start climbing the tree. Now the question comes, how to climb this tree? First of all, we have to be convinced of this. If we are convinced, then only we start climbing the tree. If we are not convinced, we will only argue. See, friends, whenever we have recognized the value and importance of anything, then there are no questions, there are no difficulties. Whenever questions and difficulties come, we have not been convinced about it. For example, we are all convinced about the value of money. Has anybody ever said, earning money is difficult, man, I am not going to earn money? No. On the contrary, we find out various techniques how to earn the money. Above the table, below the table, around the table, behind the table. Because value for money. Exactly the same way, when we will learn this value, that we have to climb the tree, meaning let us not be sitting all the time at the root of the tree and keep on complaining. See? Therefore, when Bhagavan Krishna says, Narupamasyeha tathopalabhyate, when you start properly inquiring about your own body, about your own self, about your own life, then you come to know, come on, this is not true. Like many people ask us, if you go to my website, there they have to write something about the person. So they ask Swamiji, what should we write about you? I say, okay, write down. Date of birth, never known nor encouraged. Past, never there, only in the present. So when I told, Swamiji, why you tell like that? I said, look here, what is the truth? Can we live yesterday? Can we live tomorrow? Where is the choice? We have to live only today. So why not live today? Is the choice whether you live today and be on the top of the world, or you live yesterday and be at the bottom of the world. Whenever we talk about ourselves to others, and whenever we ask others about their life, what is the topic? Only one topic. About the past. And how it begins. See, this story I told many years before. I was in Bombay traveling to Delhi, and those days trains. So I was sitting in my seat and one elderly man came, and with standard, very nice rich person type of thing, khadar clothes, white one and nicely ironed, and came and sat. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Oh, I am very happy, Swamiji, you are here. Now, my 18 hours, I will have nice time with you. I said, oh God, this is going to eat my head for 18 hours. But then, I am not ordinary, I am also equally pakka. So what I did, I took out my rosary from my pocket. So here, yes it is. I told him, I said, Babaji, that time I was young, he was old. So I said, Babaji, my Guru has told me that whenever you travel, you should keep on chanting the mantra which I gave you, okay? So as my Guru's orders, I don't talk when I travel, sorry, okay? But you can tell me about yourself. If you want to make any old person happy, this is an impossible undertaking, but you can try. If you want to make any old person happy, ask him or her about their life and don't listen. And that technique I followed. So, after some time, when I found, he started a story from Baghdad. My grandfather used to sell chana in Baghdad. That means I had to know here 3 generation story. And then, they migrated to Peshawar. वहाँ पेशा चला नहीं. Then he came to Karachi. By then, the India was divided. So we migrated to Ranchi. You know Ranchi is the very biggest mental hospital in Ranchi. So Karachi से निकले Ranchi पहुँचे. And then there our business could not do well. So we migrated to USA. You know USA? Ulhasnagar Sindhi Association. That is in Bombay. So we migrated to USA. And then I got married and I got children and all that. And then my children told, Dad, here the climate is very humid, you can't stand. Why don't you go to Delhi for 3-4 months and then come? And I agreed to them. And then they brought me here, put me in this train. And then I saw you. So, okay. Then what happened? Friends, you come in the utter present, you have nothing to talk. This is the way you climb the tree. Just observe this. Constantly talking about the past. This is called as ego. Ego means what? Ego, egoing, egon. And it must essentially go. Now what is that ego? Ego is nothing but a mule carrying the burden of total past possessions, relations and experiences related to these possessions and relations. And how we start? I was born in Karachi. Somebody told you and you believe it. Do we have the experience of birth? None of us have. But little bit we are grown up and arrogant. Unless I see God, I don't believe in God. So I told a young person, boy, I said, when you see God, you don't have to believe. Belief is necessary when you don't know. What do you mean? I said, do you know where from you are dropped in this world? Somebody told you, this lady is your mother. What proof you have got? Then that lady tells, this man is your father. What proof you have got? Have you seen? See, friends, so this event of birth is neither experienced by us. So also, the experience of growth is also not there. Nobody experiences he or she is growing. That is why all the old people, they cut a pathetic joke. One old man somewhere with a short and a golf cap in the morning 6 o'clock came running tuk 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 tuk. And I was sitting near a lake and I don't know who is he. He came and stood in front of me. Very short fellow and frail. If a motorcycle goes next to him, he will be flown away. That kind of person. So he asked me this question. Can you guess what is my age? In the morning at 6 o'clock to a Swami in an open ground, unknown person comes to ask you this question. So I looked at him. I said, 3 years. But such a question can never be asked by a mature person. No, tell really. I said, okay, you are 81 years young. When I said, you are the first person who has correctly understood, I don't feel I am old. Because nobody ever experiences that he or she is growing. It is the grace of the society when a girl is for the first time addressed by children. Auntie, what is the time that auntie gets the first ganti in her life? Oh God, now I am becoming. And the second ganti begins. This I have seen in a marriage in Bombay, ISKCON. Marriage was on the stage and we were an audience watching in a big hall. So one sweet little girl came running and there was an old fellow sitting next to me. He must have been a relation of those people. So she came, Dadaji, upar chalo na, sab bula rahe hain humko. He called her. He was sitting next to me. I can hear everything. Don't call me Dadaji before everybody. Call me uncle or a Buddha, uncle. He is not at fault. The one who is experiencing, he is not experiencing that he is old. Be very attentive. All experiences happen only in the mind. There is no experience that happens to the body. Observe this. What for? Because we have to climb on the tree. You have to be on the top of the world for that purpose. Observe this. This I have learned not from books. All what I am telling you is not from books. My whole life spiritual practice has been only this. Learn from every experience of your life. Your own life's experiences are your best guru. If we can't learn from the experience of our life, even God will fail to teach us. And when we learn, we grow wise. How we learn? When there is, let us take a tooth pain somewhere. I'm getting a little pain here. So we learn there is something wrong. We go to the dentist and he corrects it. Now apply the same principle, be very attentive. Apply the same principle when you get hurt, when you get neglected, when you feel lonely, then we get hurt. But we don't investigate. See, in case of the tooth pain, we investigated. Something is wrong at the root of the tooth. Find out, get it corrected. Exactly the same way, whenever we get hurt, whenever we get insulted, whenever we feel neglected, whenever we feel that we are unwanted, that time investigate. Who is this? Who is suffering? But we don't do that. See, my friends. So, once somebody came and he was doing namaskar to me. This happened in Bombay. And there was some kind of like a small berry, something was growing on my right toe. So that person did namaskar and said, Swamiji, what is growing on your toe? I said, it's a wisdom toe. He said, no, don't cut jokes. I said, you people have got wisdom tooth, I got wisdom toe. No, if it grows, it will be a problem for you. I said, then what do you have to tell me? You should operate it. I said, okay, I'll get it done. I am a doctor, I can do it. I said, okay. After the satsang was over, I went with him to his clinic, sat on the chair, put my leg on the stool. He gave the local anesthesia. And after about 15 minutes, he said, are you feeling? I said, yes, I am feeling emotional. You are so much caring. No, not that way. Are you feeling the touch there? I said, no touch anywhere. I am not touching. Then he said, now you can watch the operation. He took the scalpel, cut through, and like with the ice cream scoop, you drink it out. That way he put the scalpel inside the toe. I saw he cut it. I saw the blood oozing out. And he took out everything and he was very happy. I mean, it has come out completely, no remnant left behind. And I saw that everything. Then he started stitching. Another pain should have been there, but no pain. Then he said, Swamiji, after some time when you get pain, you take this painkiller. That day I discovered this. My toe was in chemical meditation. Because mind was not allowed to enter. So where things do not enter the mind, they do not exist for us. Now don't have to trust me. Longer the beard, more the doubt. Observe. Exactly the same way. Whenever we get hurt, that hurt doesn't happen to the body. It happens to the mind. Even for the tooth pain, etc., when they give us some painkiller, painkiller means what? They kill you without pain. They are not curative agents. See, my friends, so we have to work on this. Who is disturbed? And now be very attentive. You will come to know the one who is disturbed is this mule who is carrying the burden of the total past. That example story I told you, that old man was talking right from Baghdad onwards up to Bombay. But the moment he came to Bombay in the train in front of me, he had nothing to talk. Instead of analyzing one's own experiences and learning from that, we go and ask questions. That is one of the reasons I don't entertain question answers. There are no questions. There are only complaints. We only complain. Swamiji, why my children are like that? Back home, when we were there, when my father used to come to my room, I used to go to other room out of fear and respect for him. And now my son comes to my room, again I get up and go to other room. What is this? I said, you have defined your life. You are born to run. First because of the father, now because of the son. No, my question is, why our children are like this? We were not like that. I said, I will talk to you. My conditions are very clear. After I explain, the topic ends. No further discussion. Okay. I said, we are lucky to have good parents. Got the answer? Our children are unfortunate to have dumb parents, and therefore they are like that. Stop complaining, my friends. But the questions are not questions, they are complaining. Swamiji, why the mind is disturbed? I said, whose mind, your or mine? Of course, my mind. Then you mind your mind. What can I do? It is something like, Maharaji, I got a stomach ache, what should I do? Okay, I will take medicine for you or what? See, friends. So what is being at the root of the tree? We are all living as the body, for the body, on everybody. And this is a burden that we are carrying. See, that body which we have not created, that body which doesn't listen to us, that body, on what foundation we say this? And we claim ourselves to be intelligent. My friends, the first step, the real spiritual practice begins when we work on this front. we have to attain freedom from body identification and thereafter live in the same body but no more as the body, then you start living through the body. Very important principle of spiritual life. But for us, the religion becomes spirituality. I delivered 3 talks in a university, BITS Pilani, many years before, must be about 15 years before. The Vice Chancellor was a very good friend of mine. He is no more now. So he asked me, Swamiji, please talk on religion, philosophy and spirituality. So the conclusion of the 3 talks was like this. In religion, there is no God. In philosophy, there is no wisdom. Where God and wisdom coexist, that is spirituality. Religious people are busy in pleasing the gods in exchange of some favor. In Varanasi, there is a temple, Sankat Mochan Hanumanji. And that Hanumanji was established by Tulsidas Ji Maharaj. In that place where Tulsidas Ji had the first vision of Hanumanji, in that place. And then he made Hanumanji out of clay by his own hand and he was worshipping that. Since then that Hanumanji temple is the most powerful temple in the whole of Varanasi. You see huge crowds there, any time you go. Particularly when exams are there, during that time, oh God. So many students will go with a nari and with a coconut in the hand. That is why Hanumanji has got a mace, gada. Hanumanji, hey Bhagwan, hama pass kar do, cricket. Only we want in exchange, I give you this thing, I should get this thing. That is what we call as religion. And when we do not get the things, not of this world but of the other world, like not getting a good job, or you are not having a baby born, or there is some very uncommon disease, then we go, see, I will do the Gayatri Japa, okay, I will do the Mahamrityunjaya Japa, it should happen. And it happens, it's not it doesn't happen, it does happen. But then, like Bhagavan Shankara says, samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshate dukrum karane. Language is meant for communication of thoughts. Language is not important. Thoughts are important. In the same manner, when we are doing upasana, it is a means, it is not the goal. But we mistake the means for the goal. Means is our life and goal is Him. What we do, we make Him as the means and goal is His worldly things. And that is what we call it upasana. And what is spirituality? Spirituality begins when we start working on our mind. The day we take this decision, we have to mind our mind. A great seeker is born. The body that is given to us by our parents, it is perishable, it will be destroyed in time. But if a seeker is born, a seeker never dies. Body is dropped. He continues in the next life. He never dies. Therefore, we come across many extraordinary people. I remember when I was studying, there was one small boy. His name was Hari. And I used to take my books on Gita Upanishad and go little away from the main ashram under some tree. It was in the mountains, Himalayas. And then I will, those days I was very strict, never sleeping in the afternoon, only night. So after my lunch, we'll go there. He said, Swamiji, I want to come with you. I said, look here, on one condition. You are not running around. I don't have to look after you. Number two, you will not ask me any questions. Number three, you will sit in one place. Okay. He was very fond of me. He was 8 years of age. Small. He will come and sit. And I will study my Gita Upanishad, make my notes, study everything. 3 hours, 4 hours. He will not move. And then we go and then we used to be relaxed. So his parents used to ask me, Swamiji, we are surprised. He is so much fond of you, he can keep quiet. When we tell him, he doesn't listen to us. What happens to him? I said, he must have been a great yogi in his last life. Therefore, he is naturally at peace. Don't we come across many children, right from childhood? They are very much introvert. They are not interested in the worldly things. It is not an accident. Because the seeker has dropped the earlier body and his seeking continues in the next body. Therefore, this is the principle about the tree of life. The tree on which we are at the base of the tree, not knowing about the tree. And therefore, we are all the time living only as body. There are 3 selves or Atma, 3 of them. We can make 4 of them easier. One Atma is the original Atma called as Paramatma, the one, Supreme Self. Now that one Paramatma is expressing through the body as Atma. Second, now this Atma is getting identified with the body and then he starts living as the body, for the body, on everybody. And after body identification, the 4th Atma is born, that I am mother, father, mother, sister, husband, wife. See the 4 generations. Now, who is miserable? The secondary, the technical Gaunatma, the secondary one. 4G scan. Mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, they are miserable. Where are they? Once one European in France he asked this question. Excuse me, you Indians, when the ladies are there, they have a .com on their forehead. But how come the gents don't have anything? I said the reason is, if you are trying to run after her, so it is a declaration, your chance is gone, it is too late. So don't waste your time on her. But then what about a man? I said they don't need any sign. By looking at their face, you know, oh, married. Who is miserable? Mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife. Can you separate the man from the husband? Can you show this is husband, this is man? Where is he? Nowhere. This non-existing entity is I. If somebody is sleeping, you can wake him up. Is it not? Somebody is sleeping. But if somebody is pretending that he is sleeping, you cannot wake him up. Exactly the same way, we are not sleeping, we are pretending. What is the pretension? I am miserable, I am unlucky, why everything happens to me? You are pretending. All those people who are miserable, who seek attention from the world. If I walk away from you straight away, nobody will bother about me. But while walking, suddenly I do, oh God, what happened, what happened? First you give attention, I will not do this. All those people who are seeking attention, they are very strong ego. They want recognition. Because I am mother, father, mother, sister, husband, wife. See, friends, this is living below the tree. Climb on the tree, then you will understand the meaning. The world is under my foot, or I am on the top of the world. So the real spiritual life begins only when we start working on our mind. About the mind, we have only one approach, and that is complaining. Everybody, if they are mother, father, mother, sister, husband, wife, they complain. Whenever a husband or a wife comes to talk to me separately, I know what is coming up. From that time onward, I never entertain anybody separately in my room. कोने में सबके सामने बात करो. Otherwise, me too. You know me too? No? Yes or no? You know that me too? A big problem in the whole world. Once I was going by flight, and next to me there was one lady sitting. And always sit near the window. When you are a guy, you can jump out. So I was sitting there. And then when I sit in the flight, if there is next seat somebody occupied, when you put the belt, I make the belt loose and put my hand below the belt and tighten it so that if I sleep and my hand goes there, me too. You don't know our tragedy. See, the Swamis are terrible, you know. Be careful about them. So I put my hand and tried to. And after some time I was sleeping. Then some tea, coffee people came. So then I got up and got tea or coffee. Then she started talking. Swamiji, do you come to Australia sometime? I said, yes. I think I have attended your sessions. I said, maybe very good, but I don't remember. Oh. And then, but why are you sitting like this? I said, no, nothing. It's a problem of me too. When one miserable person goes, talks to other miserable person, what will it do? Hey, I tell you, I am so fed up of my wife, very miserable. Every night after she gives me food, I have to go to the hotel for my supper. Then only my stomach is full. She cooks so horrible. Do you think that other husband is listening to him? This is nothing. Then, when I go home, I have to cook. I have to feed her, and then I can eat. So there is a competition of miseries. And where are those husbands? Nowhere. We normally complain about mind, whether dealing in the worldly things or when sitting for meditation. This meditation is the biggest bluff in the world. See, sitting for meditation. And then the question, how I come to know when they ask the question, because I don't do meditation. I sit in Krishna's lap, relax. But it's true. And Swamiji, whenever I sit for meditation, no, too many dirty thoughts come in the mind. What should I do? Don't sit for meditation, relax. No, but my guru told to do meditation, then do meditation. But then the thoughts come, then don't do meditation. No, but why don't you tell something possible? I said, okay, I'll tell you possible. You only answer my questions, don't argue, I don't like argument. Yes. God has given us eyes for what? For seeing. If the eyes are open, and you want, when eyes are open, I should not see anything. You are wanting something impossible. Yes. Ears are open. When ears are open, you will have to hear the sounds. You can't stop it. In the same manner, where the thoughts should come, thoughts will come in the mind. Should the thoughts come in the nose, you can blow them out. So, if your eyes are open and you cannot see, then there is an issue. If your ears are open, you cannot hear, then it's an issue. If your mind doesn't have thought, then it's an issue. If you have thoughts, it's not an issue. Oh, but why they told us you should not have thought, yoga, chittavritti, nirodha, stop the thinking process. I said, they may tell, but you should understand clearly where the thoughts will come. Do you want to live in this world like a dumb? What, no thoughts? See, friends, instead of fighting with the mind to stop the thinking process, engage the mind in inquiry. See, there were two children, and the father has to take care of them. So he thought how to keep these fellows busy, eating head with so many questions. So he took two papers and cut them randomly and mixed those pieces and told them, hey, whosoever makes this picture perfectly all right, nice scenario, like a river and a mountain and people and the birds and the sun and all kinds of things. Whosoever makes it first, he will be given some prize. That's two children busy. And one of the child, he was looking this way and he could see eye in one of the pieces. Oh, he is eye. So there must be the face of the man. So he turned all the pieces upside down. And then he started putting them together. And he knows man. He doesn't have to know the words man. He knows the man. Fix them properly and then put another paper on that and slowly turn them up. And his map was perfect in no time. He got the prize. So the father asked, hey, how come you did so fast? He told his technique. When I was playing with it, I got this clue. That behind there has to be some face because there was an eye. When you put the man together, the world is improved. In the same manner, when you put your mind together, you have gone on the top of the world. Normally we complain about everything. You know that Hindi cinema song? दुनिया बनाने वाले काहे को दुनिया बना तुमको परेशान करने के लिए constantly complaining. Such people are uh, CBI, you know CBI? Complaint box individuals. We have got complaint about everything. If we don't have complaint, आजकल ठंड जरा ज़्यादा ही हो रही है. अरे, they have to complain. They cannot live without complaining. They have to have something. Therefore, to climb on the top of the world, we have to first understand. Till such time, we are living as the body, for the body, on everybody, this world will trouble us. And the trouble from the world is expressed only in terms of complaints. So that has become our second nature. If I am a husband, the cause of my misery is my wife. If I am a wife, the cause of my misery is my husband. If I am a mother, the cause of my misery is my children. If I am a child, the cause of my misery is my parents. We all have got default settings. So as a husband, what will be my spiritual practice? Try to improve the wife. This is called as impossible undertaking. Ashakyanushthan. Change yourself. And this change can come only through proper thinking. Thinking is not a problem. Wrong thinking is a problem. This is where yoga and we differ. Yoga tells you, don't think. It is like something like, giving a look at the shape and say, now you don't have pain, is it not? Is that what I told you? So, till that medicine is working, you are at home, you are happy. The moment it goes out, again you are miserable. Therefore, you will see, yogis, tapasvis, they are very angry type of people. But the devotee of the Lord and a wise man, they are never angry. See, my friends, because for them, half an hour meditation, rest of the day frustration. We have to live 24/7 in meditation. And this is what is called as being on the top of the world. The further thought process will continue in our tomorrow's session. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahan Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.